I hate War Thunder. As any longtime player will tell you, the grind is soul-crushing, the game modes lack variety, and every match feels like gambling to get a semblance of fun out of the slot machine disguised as a video game. I would never, in good conscience, recommend it, but I also can't say my embarrassingly high playtime has been a complete waste. I had played it as a little kid, but picked it up again in sophomore year of high school. That was kind of a formative year, huh? As I progressed through the game's tech trees, I started to fall in love with tanks, and researched the history behind the vehicles I unlocked. My dad had always been a lover of military vehicles, and, incredibly, had a World War II M16 half-track I had mostly ignored other than riding in parades. I found the same passion for military vehicles independently, and by senior year in 2020, I volunteered to restore the Kubelwagen we took on because of a job breaking up an old horde. I loved learning about the human aspect of tank design, the ergonomics, how a crew would operate and live in the machine, and wondered what it would be like to own one. I drove my Kubelwagen up a mountain in 2021, but 2022 was when my journey really started, discovering my passion and being more social.
Well, I know I had it coming. I know I had to be real.
As 2022 became 2023, I thought I'd tackle the disgust I felt with my body for as long as I could remember. If there's another life, I'd probably be happier as a woman, but for what I was given, I just needed to be a bit manlier, which I would accomplish by going to my school's gym frequently and starting boxing classes. Fittingly, around that time, my dad was starting the masculine business of my dreams, and wanted me to help him set it up. My mom told my dad he could get more vehicles if he could turn his hobby into a business, which he took as a blank check to go wild with his dreams. He sent me to scope out drive tanks while he looked into the perfect tanks that he could actually afford. He settled on buying an FV-434, a British armored recovery vehicle for the purpose of crushing cars, a Scimitar, a speedy reconnaissance vehicle to be our only true tank, and a Fox, a rare armored car that he probably just got because it's our last name. He made a deal with the ranch owner to run the business on her land, and shipped the tanks in cargo containers from England. I helped with partially restoring the vehicles, but he mostly gave that job to Tommy, a guy with more mechanical affinity than me he found through a family friend.
Don't take evidence, I don't want him to know that I'm the one who burned down his tank.
My job was to build the website and manage outreach. If I could get a real YouTuber to come out to the tank ranch and film a video, I could get the promotion my dad wanted and see how a big YouTube video is made in real time. Tommy and I became quick friends over our shared military interest. With my history knowledge and Tommy's mechanical experience, we made a good team for bringing this dream business to life. I helped Tommy with some of the maintenance, but when our efforts fell short, my dad used his improvisation to bring the vehicles back to life. We gave up getting the Fox to work, but the Scimitar teased us with being so close to working perfectly, but always being plagued with problems, especially its steering and brake system. The Scimitar is, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the fastest production tank in history, and after getting it drivable, my dad got it into 5th gear out of 7 in his testing. Working on tanks is a dream and a nightmare. On the one hand, it was so cool to climb around them and see how everything works. On the other hand, working on anything is inconvenient, from losing tools to the turret monster to having to climb in and out every time you need to change something.
It's loosening up.
Here's the unanticipated problem of having a tank, is the turret monster. It sucks up and eats and disappears all manner of things, including my water bottle. Never mind, I found it. Getting out of a vehicle that's taller than you takes time, and you could imagine how difficult it would be in a hurry. Tanks are designed to hurt people, and just crawling around them or sitting atop them has a passive pain to it, but their general unpleasantness didn't make them any less cool. For my part, I made contact with the Halo cosplay YouTuber Impact Props, who I connected with over my Halo short film that I filmed on the tank ranch. The owner, Brad, was extremely excited to bring his team out to film. He'd been wanting to make a tank driving video for years, but ours was the first place to let him do it. Our business, Mountain Fox Tank Corps, had its grand opening, and I went to a few publicity stunts and parades as we waited for Brad and his team to come out at the end of the summer.
It's so funny. Like a R button. Forward, left, forward.
Do you want to drive it? Still growing closer to the 405th Halo cosplay group after they helped with my film, I invited some of them out for a photo shoot with the tanks to give back a little bit. I brought my Mandalorian armor to the photo shoot and had so much fun riding the tanks with my Spartan friends. It's an unbelievably special experience to be in armor, surrounded by folks in armor.
Has the sun changed again?
Of course.
Hey, continuity. At least we're not on the film shoot.
Right? Oh, God, fuck that.
After the photo shoot was over and just Tommy and I were left to clean up, he realized I still hadn't driven the scimitar and encouraged me to try it. We were just having fun and hadn't thought to put on helmets or lock the commander's hatch where he was standing. He taught me the controls, but told me not to use the red master brake pedal on the floor because it's too violent. On a tank like that, tillers are pulled to apply brakes to one track at a time, turning the tank in the direction it's braking. We had some trouble with the tank's brakes in the past, and I felt the right side was less responsive than the left, but I hardly noticed when I was having so much fun driving it. By the third lap, I became confident, and on the downhill I wanted to outdo my father and prove myself as a man, and shifted into 7th gear. When I wanted to slow down, I pulled back on the tillers, but realized with the horror of being trapped in an out-of-control 9-ton vehicle that it didn't do anything. I hit the red brake pedal, which I'd later learn is how you actually slow down the scimitar, but that didn't work either. Running out of options, I pulled the right tiller to at least steer uphill, but still no response. Finally, as we were hurtling towards a ditch I knew would flip us, I pulled the left tiller, which had enough power to put us head-on with the ditch. The first shallow ditch didn't affect us much, but the second sent us airborne. The thought going through my head when I was flying through the air in an out-of-control tank wasn't the fear of death, but instead the fear I would disappoint my parents. Like some stunt you'd do without thinking in War Thunder, we flew at least 30 feet of distance horizontally, and I have no idea how high we went except that I could only see the sky in front of me before we landed violently. If my head hit the mantlet, those thoughts would have been my last, but once we stopped, I was instantly outside, uninjured. Tommy wasn't as lucky. The commander's hatch had swung into his back when the tank landed, giving him a nasty bruise and making it hard for him to walk. When you get to walk away from a stupid mistake like that, you feel ashamed, you feel guilty, You feel suddenly so aware of your mortality, and despite the numbness, you're grateful to still feel the world around you. That night he went to the ER, and my guilt turned to fear as I worried about what it meant, and then back to guilt for not being worried about him. Praise the Lord, he was fine too. Just bruised, and to his credit, he only ever asked if I was fine. An incredible guy. He wasn't mad, just laughed it off, and was grateful for the story to tell. It stuck with me more than Tommy, but in the end, there's nothing for it but to move on and be reminded you only have one life. Now that the brakes were fried, I had a YouTuber coming to drive a tank that didn't work, and they were coming soon. I took a step back from tank maintenance to focus on the online brand, and in the meantime I got my Minecraft friend group who'd been playing with me over the summer to come out to Colorado once again. I showed them the tank ranch, played Nerf with them, and hiked up Blodgett Peak for the second time. The difference of almost a year of taking fitness more seriously was stark. I made it to the top quicker and easier than the first time, and as much as I enjoyed boxing, the benefits of being healthier was obvious. Aesthetically, though, if anything, I was feeling worse and more self-conscious about my body. Despite losing 20 pounds, I still wasn't comfortable taking my shirt off in front of the boys, and I didn't feel any closer to any body I'd feel happy with.
The paparazzi.
My dad assured me the scimitar would work for filming, and with the video just a week away, Tommy enlisted the help of another Tom to get the FV434 to drive so it could crush a car for the video.
I'm scuffed. That's how we make things work.
With all of us working together, we jerry-rigged a fuel tank out of a plastic gas can to make it work, and it was really fun to feel like a real tank mechanic. Finally, Brad's team arrived, and despite my dad's assurances, the scimitar's brakes still didn't work. It was crazy seeing how normal these bombastic YouTubers are in real life, but good getting to know them at first.
Nice hat, by the way.
Hey, nice hat.
Once he realized the scimitar still didn't steer, Brad was pissed that his tank video wouldn't have a tank in it, and I got scared. But me and his co-host, Ryan, came up with a plan to make sure that the show could still go on. The first day was stressful, but so much fun. I had a few 405th friends come out to hang out with Impact props since they're well known in the Halo cosplay community, and it was insane to watch Master Chief driving a tank more wildly than anyone I'd ever seen. Being behind the scenes of it all was so cool. It was odd seeing the visible change in personality of the Impact Props crew once the cameras rolled, but they were good people, and hugging the Chief is another dream come true. With the help of my dad's creativity and a few heavy vehicles, we towed the scimitar out of its enclosure and made up a story about Chief breaking it after driving it in a straight line to both have it in the video and excuse its absence.
Turn it.
By the second day, everyone had fun driving the vehicles, and Brad said by the end of it, it was the most fun video he had ever filmed. The video came out well. It wasn't as popular as we'd hoped, but getting to work with a real YouTuber like that was an experience I'll never forget.
Before we do any of that, it's time to tell you about today's sponsor, War Thunder.
Reflecting on that insane summer, I loved driving, working on, and playing with real tanks, but after all the chaos and danger, I was glad to be able to step away in Scotland. Pursuing masculinity nearly killed me, and when I got everything I wanted, became everything a guy should be, it only made me more uncomfortable. I got my dream of owning a tank, and I'll never complain about that, as messy as the reality is, but that passion was beginning to fade. No matter what I accomplished, I felt like I might never be happy, so I resigned to make others happy instead. As summer came to a close, I readied for my last semester of college that I would spend abroad in Scotland. and the following years and travels would be the greatest adventure of my life. One thing's for certain, no matter where you go in the world, you can't hide from yourself. And if you want to see the rest of my journey, I'll see you on the other side.